Okay, we got some I guess you would say Tachiai slash Butsukari kind of practice here. I'll just play the video here as I talk. Um what the idea with this drill was is not necessarily going for intensity on the impact, but more training the uh what's the word I'm looking for? The kind of like explosion at the sound of the word Hakioi. That's more of the kind of idea of like sprint training, of training your body to go when you hear the word, and starting to build that sort of like sort of connection in your mind and your muscle to kind of like go as you hear it, so that you can react faster and faster to it. I find when you're kind of like practicing sumo, if you don't have something to kind of like hit or to kind of like make contact with when you do your tachi, it feels weird. Like you have all this weight forward and it's meant to hit something, but if you don't have something there, it feels weird. You feel very off balance, and it's hard to tell if you're kind of hitting well. So I find having a person is good, because then you can kind of drive and see how it feels. You have that sort of like contact, so your weight has somewhere to go. Another option too, as well, is you can have like things like telephone poles, trees. These work well too, as well, as to give you something to kind of like make impact with. You can't really see it in this video, but there's a big sort of like wrestling mat that's rolled up in the corner of this room, and we'll sometimes use that for our tachi practice too, as well. But essentially, again, the idea is not going super intense or hard, but more kind of like building up that reflex of going on hakioi and then making contact, and then building up so you takes less and less time each time you hear the word. Because really, when it comes down to it, you aren't going on the word hakioi, you're going on the huh part. You want to go almost as soon as you hear the first bit of that first syllable. I know when I did Worlds in Thailand, you would even see like you saw this a lot with the Japanese and the Mongolians. They would push it to its limit of like what would be questionable as a false start. Of that sort of pushing it so you're leaving at almost the point of where the ref has started to say it, and it's so close that it's hard to distinguish. Like, they really are pushing that limit of like what a false start is, in that kind of sort of like gaming of the system. But yeah, this is a good drill. Again, building that sort of like reflex of like going on the command, much in the same way that sprinters will train that. Again, not going with like super intense high impact, but by just building that sort of like mind muscle connection and building that reflex. That's the big part of this, because you don't always have to go super hard or intense in everything. Sometimes it's about just building that sort of like reflexive, like twitch, like kind of muscle sort of like reaction to it as well. And then, yeah, if you have something like a telephone pole, or like big mat rolled up in the corner, then those you can do the very intense hard charges on, while also kind of like building up that reflexive training as well.